But now today, there's yet another danger. And I want to share that with you in this month of Rabiul Awal. It's the month when the Sufis celebrate the birth anniversary of the Prophet ﷺ. They call it Mawlid al-Nabi. And here in Trinidad, they say Milad al-Nabi. Mawlid al-Nabi and Milad al-Nabi. Of course, the celebration of the birth anniversary of the Prophet ﷺ is not and has never been a part of the Sunnah. No. Neither the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ nor of his companions. No. It is something new, and therefore it is a belief system. It is a religious institution or religious practice which is not based on the Quran and Sunnah. Not based on the Sunnah. You can use verses of the Quran to try to argue the case, but clearly it is not a part of the Sunnah. And so this is the month when the gloves come out. And this side of the fence is saying that those who do not celebrate the Milad al-Nabi, they are not good Muslims, they are bad Muslims, they are this, they are that, and the other. And they launch a war against these people. Milad al-Nabi is the time for boxing gloves, fighting them. We are the good Muslims, you are the bad Muslims. And then the other side also pick up their boxing gloves and say, these people are committing shirk and these people are in bid'ah and this and that and the other. And so it's like a merry-go-round every Milad al-Nabi, with boxing gloves this side versus that side. And which is why it is strange and mysterious to me that they waited until the month of Rabiul Awal. And then they waited until the first Jummah in Rabiul Awal. And then they chose a Sufi masjid in Egypt. And then they launched this devastating attack on the masjid. And about 300 people, this is the information we have reached us, that about 300 people were killed. Is it true or is it false? I don't have anything else to go by other than the news reports. Number one, that it occurred on the first Jummah of Rabiul Awal. Number two, it was an attack on a Sufi masjid. Number three, that more than 300 people were killed. This is the news which has reached me, and that doubtless has reached you as well. We don't know how true it is. If it is true, then the news is going to spread far and wide. And then we have to ask ourselves, well, who did it? Why did they do it? And why did they choose this particular moment to do it? The first question, who did it? The answer that is supposed to come, that we are expected to give, is that the Salafis did it. That's the answer we are expected to give. That the ISIS people, the Wahhabis and the Salafis, lump them all together. These people who declare that the Sufis are committing shirk and committing this and committing that, and they oppose the celebration of Milad al-Nabi and so on. These people are not only with boxing gloves now, they pick up guns. That's the answer we are supposed to give. I am not giving that answer because I don't know who did it. I don't know if there was some intelligence agency at work involved in this planning it. Number two, why did they choose a Sufi masjid? Answer, it will appear to me that the reason why they chose a Sufi masjid and they chose the first Jummah in Rabiul Awal is to provoke Sufi, Salafi civil war in the House of Islam. I am a political analyst, and I am therefore analyzing with the tools with which I've been trained to analyze. And why did they choose this particular time? Number one, the month of Rabiul Awal. Number two, are you listening to me in Egypt? Number two, the first Jummah in Rabiul Awwal, not the second, is because they want to maximize the impact of this attack, this terrorist attack, maximize its impact. So as the days proceed now until the 12th of Rabiul Awwal, the momentum will be building to a crescendo, that a wave of resentment will sweep the entire world of Sufis. And the Sufis are popular all over the world. You have Sufi movements all over the world. There's very great sympathy and support for Sufism around the world. Compared to the Salafi, I think the Sufis are far more numerous in number. But it is clear that as we now approach the 12th of Rabiul Awwal, what is going to happen around the world is that there's going to be a build-up, increasing momentum, building to a crescendo of a wave of hostility against the Salafi, against the Wahhabi, against the ISIS and so on, lumping them all together, not remembering. I have many Salafis who are my students. Oh yes, many of them are my students. And so what we have now is that we are on the brink of a pit of fire, planned by those who want to divert our attention from something big that is coming. Yes, something big that is coming. Divert our attention with Sunni Shia civil war, with Sufi Salafi civil war. How do we respond? Answer: the Miladun Nabi and the other practices of the Sufis which are not based on the Sunnah should not be used to divide the people. Do not divide yourself from your Muslim brother on the basis of a religious practice which is not firmly built on the Sunnah. Do I need to repeat that to you? For those of you on this side who have on your boxing gloves this Miladun Nabi, I have to also give a lecture for Miladun Nabi. It will be in the Endeavour Masjid. Endeavour Masjid close to Montrose on next Jummah, the 1st of December, after Salatul Maghrib. And I intend to speak on the essential Sunnah, the essential Sunnah. So do not divide yourself from your Muslim brothers on the basis of religious practices which are not based on the Sunnah. And Miladun Nabi is not based on the Sunnah. Having the prayers for 40 days is not based on the Sunnah. No. If you divide yourself from your Muslim brothers on the basis of religious practices which are not based on the Sunnah, you are violating the command of Allah in the Quran, in which He has ordered you, وَأَتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on, all of you. Hold fast to the rope of Allah, which is the Quran, and the Sunnah of He who was sent to teach the Quran. Hold fast, all of you, to the rope of Allah. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And do not be disunited. Do I have to remind you of Allah's command in the Quran? Prohibiting you from dividing yourself from your brother Muslims. Do not do that. This is the way I live. But if you have your Miladun Nabi program and you invite me, I will come. Yes. I will participate in it, yes, but I will not myself organize a Miladun Nabi function. Not at all. Why? Because I don't want to have to defend an institution which is not based on the Sunnah. How many times must I repeat that for you to understand? Is it so difficult to understand? What's wrong that you cannot understand it? It is not based on the Sunnah, but that does not mean that it is haram. It is not based on the Sunnah, but that does not mean that there is evil in it. No. It is when something is not based on the Sunnah and you want to insist that it is a part of religion. I don't want a part of that, because that is bid'ah and haram. When something is not based on the Sunnah and you want to pick up boxing gloves to defend it and divide yourself from the Muslims, I don't want to be a part of that at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. I don't want to have to answer for that in the grave. No. Those who want to pick up their boxing gloves and fight battles and battles over things which are not based on the Sunnah, let them go their way. But I'm not going to do that. So, Miladun Nabi and the Sufi practices, which are not based on the Sunnah, I don't want to have to defend them, so I don't identify myself as a Sufi. But if you invite me to your zikr, I'll come and join you. And on the other hand, now you have those who their raison d'etre now is to pick up boxing gloves and sometimes pick up guns to wage war on these people who are celebrating Miladun Nabi. Oh, you are fools. I want to tell you straight to your face that you are fools, that you are dividing the ummah, and you're doing it in a destructive way over things which are not based on the Sunnah. If it is not based on the Sunnah, but they do not insist that it is a part of the deen, there's no need for you to fight a war with them. No. It is when they argue with you that this is a part of the religion, then you can say to them, this is bid'ah. So on the other side as well, if you are waging war against the Sufis because of religious practices which are not based on the Sunnah, you are also guilty of dividing the Muslims. Wala tafarraku. Do not be disunited. Look at my way. I have good relations with the Sufis. They're annoyed that I don't describe myself. Warrenville, just hold on. And I have good relations with many Salafis. Many Salafis are my students.